Welcome to the tool demonstration of PMD. This is for software tools and practices and it is prepared by Faraz Anwar and Sahaj Patre. So coming on what PMD is, PMD stands for Programming Mistake Detector. So this PMD is what it does is like it scans the source code in Java and other languages and looks for potential problems in your code. It's like it finds all the errors which comes into the PMD's detector and it shows you the output for like so the you can see on your window that there are four potential problems which PMD could detect. The number one is possible bugs. It could find the bugs which are usually present in empty try, catch, or switch statements. And the second is dead code. So what does that code means is that there could be unused local variables, parameters, and private methods which are present in your code but you are not using it. So PMD can detect that as well. And the third is suboptimal code, which means that your code could be of a better quality. There are various wasteful string buffer usage which could be enhanced and make it to something more better, and that would be a better choice for your source code. And the last one is overcomplicated expressions. There could be unnecessary if statements, for loops that could be have been while loops. So these are the four potential problems which PMD detects. And the next major issue which PMD takes care of is the copy paste detector. So this copy paste detector is like an add-on to PMD, and it was introduced obviously later after PMD was launched. And the basic objective of this copy paste detector is to find the duplicate codes in projects like in your source code. So what actually is the use of copy paste detector? So this copy paste detector is of a great use when you have a large project and you have not written the source code, but you know that this part of the source code needs to be changed, and it's kind of present in like in various places in your code. So copy paste detector can detect that, and you'll find those various places where you can find the same code and you can change it. So how does this copy paste detector work? It uses the wrap and cap string search algorithm to find the duplicated code, and this search algorithm was initially used in detecting plagiarism as it is a string matching algorithm. And this copy paste detector works with Java, JSP, C, C++, Fortran, PHP, and C# code also, which is kind of a big varied. Now, coming on the installation. So, if we talk about installation, we can use PMD either through the terminal or as a plugin. So, for using it as a in a terminal, what we need to do is the first basic step is you need to download the latest binary distribution of PMD. It's going to be a zip file. You can find it on SourceForge. The link is given in the video. And the next step is you need to zip archive it to any directory, for example in the C for my case. And then you need to add the install folder to your environment variable path. And once you have added it to your path, you're all set. And next step is you just have to use it. And the next installation of it as an Eclipse plugin. This is installing it through plugin is a pretty simple and straightforward. What you need to actually do is you need to start your Eclipse and open any project. Then you go and select help, and then you install the new software tab. Then you add the name and location of the PMD plugin repository using the add button, and you put the location of the SourceForge, which you can see on your window on the location, and you name it as PMD and add it. Once you are done with this, the PMD plugin is successfully added in your Eclipse.
Hello, I'm here to walk you through over the uses of the PMD on command line and on Eclipse plugin. Firstly, let's go to the command line and see the uses of PMD. Here you can see that I am inside the open source directory, and you can see a couple of open source projects given. I'm in this video I'm using Elasticsearch to run PMD on. Elasticsearch is an open source Java project. So for running PMD, there's a command PMD space -d, which is for the current directory, which is the Elasticsearch, and the -f flag XML says that the output should come in the XML format, and -R is for the rule sets. And as this is a Java source, we are using Java rule sets, and furthermore we are using PMD to find the empty try class catch block statements inside Elasticsearch. So when we run this command, you can see some warnings in the first. Then as you see, it gives the XML format output. In here you can see the XML entities like file, violations, and many more. Let us leave this, and yeah, it has finished. Now you can see that inside file, entity file, you can see the name in which it has found the violations. In here it has found the violations inside x content test utils test to Java file, and the violation is an empty statement not part of the loop, and it is a description of the violation. And this violation is under the rule empty statement not in group, and inside the rule set error prone for Java. And so you can see it's an XML file which is an output. So this way we can use PMD on a command line. Now let's go to the Eclipse. As you can see, this is an Eclipse user interface. We are all very familiar with Eclipse, and here I have imported the Elasticsearch as a project, and you can see there are lots of packages inside this. So we are going to run PMD on Elasticsearch. So when you do a right click in Elasticsearch, you can find PMD after it is installed in your Eclipse. So when you go to the check code and click it, you can see it starts reviewing the code and look for the violations. So it may take some time. So till then we'll go and check over some options for PMD. So for clicking on the project, when you go to project and then properties, you can see PMD the left hand side. When you go to PMD, you can see all of the rule sets inside here. So it's in Java language, so I have selected all the Java, and you can see the name of the rule sets and the description of the rule here, also the priority level of that where rule. Here in PMD is fully enabled, so we don't have to touch more about the settings in this window. So we simply go and hit apply and close. Yes. So when you go to Windows and Preferences, we go to the Preferences of PMD. You can see PMD here. So when you go here, we drop down, you can see a bunch of options that you can play around. So here the maximum reported violence per file and per rule is set at default 5. You can also increase it to the number you want, or decrease to set a limit to the violations per file. In here you can see symbols that are related to the level of the violations that PMD finds. So for the red flag here, it has assigned this red flag to a high priority violence that PMD finds. So similarly, you can set the shape of the symbol and the color to set your violations. So you can also create some custom rules to define your old rules, and you can set the symbols to that rules. So these are all of the options you can play with while using the PMD. Let's go to the CPD preferences. When we launch the CPD and click this button here, a new window opens. In this window, we have to set the root directory where the CPD will work on. So the root directory is in the desktop, inside the desktop, and inside open source. And Elasticsearch is our project. Let's check duplicated codes inside the libs folder of Elasticsearch. Select it and select the language for Java, and then run the cpd. You can see the following. Let's increase the window size, see what's happening. So in here you can see duplication a duplication of this very code in the file name bytes channel context test java. You can see it has found the same code in line 74 and line 110. So we can find similarly other duplication codes in the file inside libs folder. So this is all what a cpd can do. Let's move to the file filters. If you want to set some filters, then you can use this option. And report. PMD offers to generate some reports on the basis of the violation that it found. So output of this report can be generated in the following formats. So text is the default one. You can also use HTML, CSV, and other formats too. For configurations, this option is used when you want to deactivate some rules here. So if you want to deactivate some rules, you can come in the option and check it. So I think this is all for the preferences of the PMD. So I have already ran the PMD, and this is what the violations that it has found out. Like you can see, there are 5 different levels of the violations that PMD has found. So these are all the packages in which inside the PMD has found the violations. Let me quickly deselect all the medium and low violations and select only the high violations, which is denoted by red flag. And let's go to one of the violations inside this packages. Let's go inside this file, and we can see the violations here. Avoid throwing raw acceptance types. So when you double click the violations outline gives all the information related to that violations. So it has gone. So let's try it opening again. You can see here it was the date created and the name of the rule, which is avoid throwing raw exception types, and the messages that is related to this very violations. And when you double click these violations inside the violations outline, it will open the file in which it has found the error and the line number. So here the violation says to avoid the throwing of the runtime exception here in line 349. Also, if you want to check all the further details of the violations, you can right click the rule here and go into show details. In this window you can see it gives like in which rule sets does this violation belongs to, the rule names, the implementation class, and all of the details like description. And if you want to go further into the violations and the rule sets, you can go to this very website of PMD, and you can check there too, and it gives the example of how to use it and many other things related to PMD. And the last thing that we are going to do in this video is prepare the report on the basis of the violations that it has found. So when we right click the Elasticsearch project and go to the PMD, there's an option called generate reports. So when we click on this report, it will render the report. It has shown some errors, but it will find sometime. When you look into the source code, there will be a folder called reports. There you go. And inside the reports, the two format of the reports, the HTML and the text format, are generated. So let's open this report and see how does it looks. It's inside desktop, open source project, desktop, open source, inside Elasticsearch, and you can see the reports folder. And when we open the PMD report.html, you can see the format of the report. Here it gives the file name and the line number in which the violation has been found and the problem, and it's a link to this problem which goes to the list of the Java rule sets and all of the information related to it. So when you go to the text report, it shows all the rules but in the text formats. Let me close all of this. So this is all PMD and how it works. So this is all we have to know about running the PMD on Java application and on Eclipse IDE. So we can also find plugins for all the IDEs too. So thank you for watching the video.